Welcome to the Board of Select Persons meeting for Tuesday, December 17th. We are in person and hybrid. Tonight's agenda is the call to order and pledge of allegiance. We have two appointments. We'll have our monthly reports from manager, financial, and department. Under new business, we'll have charitable contribution requests. We'll have a presentation this evening on invasive species. We'll have conservation budget presentation. Cost estimate for some walkways and things on some of our Bragdon Hill properties. We'll have the CEDC budget, invoice approval, Christmas and Poland donation request, and RSU 16 committee, budget committee discussion and payables. And with that, if we could do the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Jessica.
Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome to our meeting this night. We'll take up your appointment for the scholarship committee.
Thank you.
Why don't you introduce yourself, because I don't know if every member of the board knows who you are.
Sure. I'm Jessica Whittier. I live on McGuirehill in Poland. My husband, Ryan Whittier, is a lifelong Poland resident, and I'm a transplant from Fort Kent. But I work in education. Specifically, I work for the Finance Authority of Maine doing financial aid education in the schools throughout southern Maine. And so this definitely seemed like a committee that fit with some of the skills I already have.
That's great. Questions from the board?
Just looking at her little resume here, she's really well qualified for being involved with this. And I appreciate you stepping forward, Jessica.
No problem.
Any other questions or comments?
No, thank you for
Hearing
stepping
none, I'll
forward.
entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we accept Jessica Whittier's nomination for the scholarship committee.
Second?
Expire
Do we need a term on it?
We need to, yeah.
term.
Term to expire June 30th of 2029.
With the term to expire.
June 30th
June
of
30th,
2029.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
John seconded. All those in favor?
John DeSantis.
Yes.
Stan Tettenman.
Yes.
Steve Robinson.
Yes.
Mary Ann Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Elby.
Yes.
With a vote of 5-0, you have approved the application of Jessica Whittier to be on the scholarship committee. Jessica, our town clerk will reach out to you when your oath of office is ready to be signed.
Okay, thank you guys so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jessica.
Congratulations.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.
Have a great night.
Take care. Our next item is to have Nikki be our register of voters for a term to expire 12/31/26.
Make a motion
Not that she hasn't done that before.
that we appoint Nicole Pratt to be the Register of Voters with a term to expire 12/31/26.
I second.
John
Yes.
DeSantis. Stan Tettenman.
Yes.
Steve Robinson.
Yes.
Mary Ann Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Elby.
Yes.
With a vote of 5-0, you have appointed Nicole Pratt as the Register of Voters with a term to expire 12/31/2026.
And with the board's permission, I'd like to jump down to charitable contribution requests. I know we have one person here this evening. If you want to come up to the table. We have, the whole place is mic'd, so there's no particular mic to do. So I'll allow you to introduce yourself. Go ahead and have a seat.
Okay.
I'll allow you to introduce yourself and we will forward to your request here.
My name is Dana Morrill. I work for Seniors Plus. I'm the Community Services Supervisor. I've been at Seniors Plus for 27 years. I'm also a Poland resident. I've been here for 30 years. And I want to thank the committees and everybody who put on the Poland week, the weekend. It was a blast. I won a tree, but that's not why I'm happy. But it was really very nice, and I got a lot of compliments from people in the community about that, so I wanted to thank you.
Which tree did you win?
I won the gnome tree, and it fits great right in the corner of my kitchen. And it's funny, because we did gnomes this year in the house, so. Yeah, I was really, really happy about
I'm glad I could improve your chances.
Oh, cut the video. No.
So for those of you who don't know, Seniors Plus is the area agency on aging for Androscoggin, Oxford, and Franklin counties. We have satellite offices in Oxford and Franklin counties. The main office is in Lewiston, of course. Seniors Plus is a huge organization. Probably we're best known for Meals on Wheels in the community. We've served 13 residents over 2,000 meals within the past year for a value of right around $20,000. That need for meals for our older adults is growing. Unfortunately, right now we have a waiting list, and we're awaiting funding from the state to be able to move forward and provide the meals that are needed for our older adults. We have an education center that we have all kinds of different programming. We have dementia programming. We have a Wowzitude, which is armchair travel, cooking classes for our new Americans. Just a variety of different programming. They're all free. Everything Seniors Plus does is a free service, except for outside vendors that come in for exercise classes and that sort of thing. We do Medicare counseling. I myself am a certified Medicare counselor, so this past open enrollment was huge. And we had a lot of folks benefiting. 21 residents here in Poland came in and got some assistance with that. And we saved folks $16,000 with changing plans and helping them to get into different drug plans and that sort of thing. Again, we do a lot of dementia services. We have a lot of clients here in our community. Families that are supporting their family members. We provide, funding for respite services, caregiving services, and that sort of thing. But we do community services for any issue or concern somebody in the community has. So all you have to do is give us a call. We'll give you a hand with finding a resource or reaching out and finding something to help folks. Somebody coming in? So, again, nutrition education is huge for Seniors Plus. We have dietary clinicians on staff that can help people with their diets, making sure that they're doing well at home. That's our whole mission, is to keep people home, keep them independent. Our Money Minders program helps folks with their budgets, helps them to pay their bills and taxes here into the community. So just a lot of great things going on. I can't say enough about Seniors Plus. We're asking for $1,500. And we thank you for your past support and hopefully your present support. And I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you.
Any
coming in.
questions?
Yeah, I have one. So,
Sure.
just a kind of a clarification.
Sure.
So, when you're working with dementia patients or any, is this where the family's not involved? There is no family, or they're involved as well?
Both.
Okay.
We have, I teach a class called Building Better Caregivers that teaches family members how to deal with behaviors, what to expect, how to deal with what's gonna happen in the future. I also lead a support group every month of families that come in. And for the clients themselves, we have programs that can help them stay independent. It's called Opening Minds Through Art, which is a program where they use imagination instead of skill. So they come in, they do art projects, and it's just really amazing to see what they can do, so. And we help families, gain access to the long-term care system, that's really huge, access to main care if they need that, and that sort of thing, so.
So does that include like other disabilities, like let's say blindness,
Yeah.
macular degenerate?
Yep, any
Issues.
hearing loss, vision loss, yep, absolutely. Somebody who was in an accident, may have brain damage, we can help work with them and get them involved in other community resources like Westside Neuro Rehab, that sort of thing. Yep.
And you guys visit, you guys go directly to
We
the
absolutely
senior's
can.
house or
We
apartment?
absolutely can do
Okay.
that. Yep, there's a lot of folks that have a hard time coming in, they're in a wheelchair or whatnot, they don't have the transportation to get to us, so we will go out,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Questions or things?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
very
your
much,
time.
thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
I didn't, are we taking these all up there in time, or how are we handling that part?
We'll go through the list of them here. The next up is community concepts, and then afterwards, you guys can make a motion to either move them forward to the budget committee or not.
Okay. Great, so this is our person from Community Concepts. Sorry, I'm not yet to the thing to catch your name. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Miller. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, I can, thank you.
Oh, great, thanks. Sorry. Hi, I'm the Resource Development Manager with Community Concepts. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're the community action agency serving Androscoggin, Oxford, and Franklin counties. We serve over 13,000 people every year throughout the 3 counties with dozens of programs, all focused on increasing self-sufficiency or meeting basic needs, or both most of the time. Our services range from Head Start and early Head Start with the littles through heating assistance, which is something that we're most known for. We run the HEAP program for Androscoggin, Oxford, and Franklin counties. With our request, I hope you all received the services sheet for Community Concepts, and it's showing which services Poland Town residents participated in this year. And the amount of money that was invested by the organization into those services. Your support and in the past support has truly helped us, and I want to thank you first and foremost for your past support and the opportunity to again apply for funding. Your support and support from the municipalities that we are serving truly helps us. We have our grants and our contracts, but that does not always cover the administrative costs and the true cost of giving all of these programs, and so we truly, truly thank you and appreciate the opportunity to submit our requests. We are asking for $3,500 this year, which is the same as last year, and I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here, so thank you.
That's great, thank you. Yeah, I know that previously when she talked about her thing, I don't know if it was clear to everybody, there was 94 people in Poland that was on your report and doing. And with you folks, I'm seeing, it's all across all of the things, but the largest number in doing the things in the HEAP program, 190 households in Poland, supported by the Community Concepts. So really appreciate it very much, helping our community. Questions or comments? Anybody? No, it really is, I love your itemized breakdown, it does a great job in breaking down and what you've done and all the different things related to it, so including weatherization of people's homes and whatever, so.
Yes.
It's really great, we appreciate it very much, and if you don't have nobody has any questions, then we'll give your evening back to you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for saying that, and we're of course happy to do it, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
Is Lightfly up there? Yep. She is up.
Hi.
Hi, good
Hi.
evening. Welcome to our board meeting. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and we'll take it away.
Sure, and I just want to start by apologizing. I've had technical difficulties this evening, so whoever is the host of the meeting, I'm sorry you saw me request to join like 5 times. I'm finally being on my phone, my computer isn't working, so thank you for bearing with me.
We're only seeing
my
you
name is
once, so it's
Ashley.
good.
Okay, yeah, one's enough. My name is Ashley McMillan. I'm the Director of Annual Giving at Lifelight Foundation. And we are here to ask for $1,477 in the town of Poland. And I want to start by just saying thank you very much for your past support. So as I mentioned, $1,477, and that's a rate of about 25 cents per capita. Just real quick about Lifelight. So Lifelight of Maine is the state's only air medical and critical care transport provider. We are a statewide organization and we bring ICU level care directly to a patient wherever they may be. We are stationed across the state. We have 3 bases, one down south in Sanford, one in Lewiston, Auburn. The Auburn hangar is not too far from the town of Poland, and then one in Bangor. So each one of those bases, we have a helicopter. Our base up in Bangor also has a fixed wing airplane, and then we also have ground ambulances. So our medical crew is providing ICU level care wherever a patient may be. That is made up of a critical care nurse and a critical care paramedic and a pilot. And our funding here from the community giving campaign kind of falls into 4 key buckets for Lifelight of Maine. So the first one is our assets or our fleet. So like each one of those pieces of equipment, the helicopter, the ambulance, we have infrastructure. So that's helipads, landing zones, weather stations. We fund education for not just our crew, but for local EMS and partnering with them and kind of training what to do with the patient before we get there, and then also medical equipment. So each one of our assets, our helicopter, our airplane has $500,000 worth of medical equipment on there. So we're much more than just a flying helicopter. We are a flying ICU, we have blood, we have labs, and we bring the trauma unit right to the patient wherever they may be. We've been around since 1998. We've transported 40,000 patients. 63 of those have been Poland residents. And honestly, we've been busier than ever. Just last Saturday, we had 16 patients transported in one day. So on average, we've been saying the past year, we've been transporting a patient every like 3.5 hours, but some days it's 2.5 to 1.5 hours. So we're very busy. People are lucky to have this service, and we are grateful for communities like Poland who believe in it and to help us make our mission possible. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but just wanted you to know that we are grateful for your support.
Questions? Well, we're very grateful for your support and your things. I do get to hear it. I think we're in the flight pattern to Lewiston from Bridgeton especially or whatever, then it seems like there's always going over. I can hear it when it flies over.
Yeah.
So no,
It's valuable service, and fortunately, most of us don't have to take advantage of it, but if we need it, it's there.
Ashley, my name's Lisa. I think probably most folks don't realize that not only do you transport by flight, but if EMS needs you on the ground, you come and intercept the ambulances as well.
Yeah, we kind of say that we're one link in the chain of survival, and so we work with the local ambulances, and if we're working on getting 3 upgraded critical care, our own ambulances, but before that, let's say that it was in Poland, and it was a critical care situation, we couldn't fly, maybe the weather wasn't great, like, we would hop in our crew and our medical equipment, and the patient would hop in the back of your ambulance and get the patient there. So it's definitely partnership working together, but we get there however we can, whether it's airplane, helicopter, or by ground.
that's great. Thank you. Thanks for spending your time and presenting to us, and thanks for your great efforts and all your work.
Of course. Take care and happy holidays.
Thank you,
Elizabeth.
you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
How much were they asking? I never asked.
$1,477.
Is that the last one?
That was the last one.
That was the last one?
I'd like to add one for the Thompson Lake Environmental Association. I'm on the board, so I'll be speaking as a board member of the TLEA, if everybody is okay with that. We we have a new president this year, he didn't realize when it had to be in. And unfortunately, he didn't have anybody on the board that was smart enough to tell him that it had to be in now. So, if it's okay, can I make a presentation? Yeah, okay.
I don't have a
Just-
problem with that.
Just wanted to make sure it was okay with everybody. The Thompson Lake Environmental Association takes care of Thompson Lake, which, as you know, is all 4 communities. I'm not sure how many residents we have in Poland that are on Thompson Lake. I do know that a couple of years ago, we were paying about $1.25 million in taxes. I don't know what that number is right now. As some of the services that we provide to all the members, well, not just the members, all the people on the lakes and to the towns. We have courtesy boat inspections that we supply during the summer, on the weekends. And this is to keep invasive species from spreading from our lake to somebody else's lake. And our boats are inspected at the boat landings before they come into the lake to make sure they don't have anything that they're bringing in. We do water testing of the quality of the water. That's done, it's either 5 or 6 times during the summer. We have a gentleman, Scott Williams, who's an aquabiologist, I think is the term. He's one of the premier men in the state that's doing this. Thompson Lake is the second cleanest lake in the southern part of the state next to Sebago. And we've been like in the top 7 or 8 cleanest lakes in the state. And a lot of this is because of the work that we do. We have a youth conservation corps. This is a team of high school students. I believe there were 3 students this year, and there's 1 adult supervisor. And what this group does is they'll go on to private properties for people who need some work done. It may be some planting of plants along the water's edge to keep water from runoff from flowing into the lake. They put in razor bars along roads to divert water. They put in box culverts to divert water. Everything is done with hand tools. They're not allowed to use power tools. And that's one of the other projects that we do. We have educational programs for students that we do during the summer mostly. And one of the biggest thing that we do, the most expensive project we have, is removing invasive species from the lake. It's mostly been milfoil, but now there are some new plants that are cropping up. We have a dive team that comes in, and I think it's about 7 weeks during the summer, and that costs us between $50,000 and $60,000 a year to do that. We've got the lake pretty well cleaned out, but they have to come back every year. There's always something for them to do. They go back into the areas that have been cleaned out, make sure that things aren't regrowing. If they're regrowing, they either hand pull them, or we have there's an old party boat converted to a hippopotamus. It basically has a big vacuum cleaner that sucks stuff up. The other thing that they do is they will hand lay tarps over some of the areas to try to smother the invasive species. Over about the last 10 years or so, we've removed 250 tons of invasive species. We're asking for $2,500 a year this year, and that's what we've been asking for the last few years. And anything that's done in the motion in this, I will be abstaining. So, that's it. I don't know if anybody has any other questions about what we do.
Yeah, so the 2,500, how is that broken down for every one of these?
Well, it just goes into our operating
General
expenses.
fund?
Yeah, and I mean, if it wanted to be earmarked for a particular thing, like water testing, I think this year it's costing $6,500, something like that. So it's somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000 for the milfoil removal. Courtesy boat inspections, we do get a state grant that covers something like 60 or 70% of it. The education part cost is relatively minimal. In the YCC, we do pay the kids. That last year, I think it cost us $20,000, $21,000. We charge the homeowner, I don't remember what the rates are, but we do charge the homeowner for labor. They pay all the materials, but we don't charge them the full labor cost, so it makes it affordable for them to be able to do some of this work.
Are these kids from the town, or are they,
I
they have to be trained?
The kids are from the Oxford Hills High School and from Poland. I don't know how many from which school.
Yeah.
Because I don't get that involved with that. Yeah, the kids are trained, how to do this, and a couple of the kids over the years have gone into some type of environmental science because of what they saw and, how they were able to help, save the lake.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Hey, thank you.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. So we
So
can do.
what I'll do is, the next step is for the board to move these forward to the budget committee. So I'm gonna ask for a motion to move forward contributions for Seniors Plus at 1,500, Community Concepts at 3,500, Life Flight at 1,477, and TLEA at 2,500.
So moved.
And seconded.
Thank you.
John DeSantis.
Yes.
Stan Tetman.
Abstain.
Steve Robinson.
Yes.
Marion Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Elby.
Yes.
With a vote of 4-0 with one abstain, you have moved those forward to the budget committee, which meets in March. That means it goes through their process, and if they agree to put those on the warrant, then it'll go on the warrant for the public's approval at the June election.
Thanks to everybody
Thank you.
related to that.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move forward and talk about more invasive species. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
So, my name is Amaya Dad, and I did a school project on Japanese knotweed for my science class, and I was hoping to present here today with further intentions of printing pamphlets to hand out to the community for education purposes, and maybe even being able to present at each of the 3 town halls for promoting the I don't know how to word it, but promoting the
Awareness?
awareness of the problem.
Absolutely.
Love it.
So if you just say next slide when you want the next slide, he'll bring the next one up for you, okay?
Next slide. So the ecosystems of our tri-town area, Poland, Minot, and Mechanic Falls, suffer from various invasive species. These include Oriental bittersweet, or Celestris orbiculata, honeysuckle, Monstera persalimenum, and then we're going to focus onto the Japanese knotweed, or Philippia japonica. Japanese knotweed, or Philippia japonica, family Polygoneaceae, or the buckwheat family, is an invasive species originating from Japan, China, and some parts of Korea and Taiwan. This species originally came to New England as an ornamental and source of erosion control. Soon these plants were being cut at the wrong time of the year, and due to their quick reproductive system and extensive seed dispersal, a rapid spread of this species occurred. Now we find it widespread across New England. In order to identify this species of plant, there are some key features you need to be aware of. So the stalks, which can go up to 7 feet, are covered with purple mottling, and are 2.5 centimeters in diameter and 7.85 centimeters in circumference. Every few inches there are regular nodes like bamboo, separating the stalk into various sections. The leaves are connected to a zigzagging stem and are of a lush green color and are shield-shaped with a flat bottom. So here we have an image showing some of the key features that will allow you to identify this plant. Moving on to the next slide. Japanese knotweed is a threat due to its nature of suppressing other species of plants, causing harm not only to native species and other non-native species, but every living thing in that environment. It does this by creating a canopy of leaves, preventing sunlight from reaching the plants beneath, thus keeping the plants from photosynthesizing. Japanese knotweed is a food source for one organism in New England that has been like really clear that it eats it, but we haven't really found any evidence of other things eating it. But the organism that does eat it is the bee, which some of the types of bees that inhabit New England include the golden northern bumblebee, the cuckoo bumblebee, the black and gold bumblebee, the mason bee, the leafcutter bee, the sweat bee, and the carpenter bee. One way to solve this issue is by applicating a systemic herbicide containing triclophor or glyphosate to plants that are currently growing. Then break or cut the stems in the early summer and reapply in late summer when shoots are growing again. Another way to rid this plant is by cutting it into submission, starting in early spring and continuing throughout the year when it starts to grow again. This prevents it from growing and producing seed. Eventually this will kill the plant, but careful disposal of cut stalks is recommended. And in the spring when your shoots are growing, they can be dug up by their roots and eaten after proper preparation. So those are my sources.
Excellent, thank you.
Got a couple of questions for you. But thank you very much for presenting that. Nice job, especially in pronouncing some of those names. The Latin names are not easy. Why did you choose this project?
I have I really enjoy nature and everything about it. And when there's like an issue within it, I really hate seeing that issue within the environment, and I like to help it in any way I can.
Okay. The second one I wrote down was, how did you get rid of it? But that was in there. Thank you very much.
One of the questions I have, like, what kind of environment is this found in? Is this found closer to like swamps and stuff, or anywhere pretty much?
It's found. It's found a lot of times near water, but it can be found pretty much anywhere.
Okay.
It has spread quite a lot in the past, like, years.
Awesome. Have you seen this?
Um,
Are we seeing this throughout many areas in Maine? And what about Poland? Have you seen cases of it in Poland?
yes, I've seen a lot of cases in it. Of it here in Poland. One of it is actually right by my house. There's humongous patches of it.
It's a question. So is it like a weed? Is it very thin stalks?
Not really. It's kind of like
Oh, it's thick.
kind of like thickish. It really depends on the stalk. Like if it's been growing for a while, it'll be thicker.
Okay.
But some of the smaller, like younger shoots will be like thinner. And one way to be able to tell this is like the key features like the zigzagging stems
Okay.
and stuff. So that's one way to.
I seen the
identify.
leaves and I'm thinking, I think I got some of this, but the stalks aren't that thick.
It
So-
looks like bamboo.
Okay,
But shorter.
okay. Good, nice job, good, because you just educated me, because I'm looking at the leaves in the picture of the right and the left, and I'm like, oh no, I think I got this, but no, I don't. Thank you, appreciate it.
So, how are you gonna print the booklets? Is this something you're doing through school or?
I'm not really clear on how I'm going to do that quite yet, but
Okay. So, did you need some money to do this, or
I
you
don't.
haven't got that far?
I haven't gotten that far yet, but I was focusing really on presenting today and possibly at the town's halls later on.
Might I suggest, if you want to get the word out quickly, print media is difficult and it's very expensive, but using social media and using video, you can hopefully spread the word quicker, and it's less expensive. Good luck to you.
And Poland has a community Facebook page, if that would, and there's lots of people that go on that community Facebook page. That would be a great way to get the word out too, and thank you very much. I personally I used to live in Vermont, and when I was there, it took me 5 years to battle a patch of this stuff. And I was a dog with a bone when it came to this, and it took me 5 years to get rid of it, so, yeah, it's brutal stuff.
So one other question, kind of away from the plant, is it just plants, species, or you're into insects, other animals, other species of animals, or it's just the whole thing?
Just really anything.
Yeah, good for you, good.
Well, just promise me you did a great job, and just promise me you'll come back here if there's something you need from us.
Absolutely,
yeah.
we
Okay.
welcome you back, for
Yeah,
sure.
great job, Breeze.
We're very glad
Yeah.
to support
Yep.
any way that we can,
Yep, good for you.
Thank you, Emily.
okay?
Have a
Thanks,
good
Emily.
night.
Got a good coach. Great job, Em.
Barry, you wanna come up?
Fred, why don't you join me as the other coach?
You take
No,
care.
no, no, we're colleagues, we're colleagues, come on.
Barry, you need Emily to help there?
No, well, I think I'd rather work with
Yeah. If you can pronounce those words.
I'll let you guys introduce yourselves to us and to everybody that may be online.
her. I am Barry Morgan, I am the co-chair of the Poland Conservation Commission.
And I'm Fred Morton. I am the other co-chair of the Poland Conservation Commission.
Tonight, my job is to discuss ongoing budgets for 2024. And I think everybody got this in the package. So this would be a ballpark of what we would do every year. This is the basis. We do more than that, and we are currently working on other projects, and Fred will be talking more about those later. One of the key things that we're trying to do is these areas here are funded by the town. Beyond that, we're looking for grants to pay for the more expensive areas that we're working in. And with that, I'll leave you with Fred.
You don't
So
want
has
to do
everybody,
separate
everybody
items?
got that, yeah, does everybody, I see everybody's got it up on their screen, so, and I think tradition has been, we've done about $5,000 a year. And you're breaking it down into trail and repair and replacement stuff with trail maintenance, training of members and dues. I know that some people, gentleman in the back or whatever, has had some invasive species elimination training and other things that he's qualified for and whatever. Technologies to monitor trail activity and security, so Alan back there, that is Emily's daughter, he has a trail cam, actually does things out there on YouTube. Has a site there showing some of the animals and some of the activity in our conservation areas. The Conservation Administration, we do have our land in conservation, and it does cost us money to support that yearly, and then roughly a miscellaneous of $1,000 is the $5,000 budget that he's proposing here and would move forward through our budget process. So, thank you, Barry.
So a piece I would like to talk about is some improvements to be made to one of our trail systems. Before I do that, I thought it might be helpful just to talk about the 3 different trail systems that we have. I'm not sure how familiar you all are with that. First one I'll talk about is the Waterhouse Brook Trail. We have a kiosk located right next to the Poland Fire and Rescue Building. And that trail starts down the former Main Central Railroad bed. It goes about 3/4 of a mile, then it turns off into the woods on property that is currently owned by the Brown Road Cemetery. And it winds in through the woods a bit, coming out behind the Poland Community School athletic fields, follows down through there, then finally exits at the municipal garage. So kind of does a loop around, utilized by the Poland Community School, and oftentimes having the kids go out there and look at nature. I know Alan's been involved in those programs. Another one of our trail systems is the Heart of Poland, located right out behind the town office here. We have 2 kiosks that access that trail system. One is behind the library, and the second one is located on the secondary access road to the Poland Transfer Station. It has a parking area that's maintained by the town during the wintertime to keep it open, and it's got a kiosk there. That trail is a little bit more extensive in terms of the amount of trails out through there. It has some neat attributes, one being a relatively large vernal pool that is very active in the spring. It also has a cave on the property, and also has a stand of white oak that Fred Huntress was, that was his deer, his little child. And that trail is a little bit more, in terms of effort, takes a little bit more effort than the House Brook Trail, which again, probably at least a strong half or more than that is on relatively flat ground. Our third trail system is the Bragdon Hill Trail. That is located between the Bragdon Hill Road and the North Raymond Road. It actually encompasses 2 properties. One is owned fully by the town, and it also abuts a piece of property owned by the New England Forestry Foundation, in which some of the trails are on that piece as well. The New England Forestry Foundation is also the organization that holds the 2 easements that we have, one on the Heart of Poland and one on the Bragdon Hill. You can access that trail system from both the Bragdon Hill Road and North Raymond Road. The Bragdon Hill Road is a discontinued road, so access and the ability to travel up there in the vehicle can be difficult certain times of the year, although some people do that. The majority of the people will access it on the North Raymond Road. We have a kiosk and a parking area, again, that the town keeps open in the wintertime. That is probably, it has the most trails of any of the trail systems that we have, and it's very diverse in terms of the terrain, a lot of steep areas, low areas, and that's where some of the challenges come with that trail system. There's a number of areas that are very wet. In the past, we have installed some walkways. We currently have both aluminum, docks, that we call walkways, in there, as well as lumber, hemlock boards out there, as well over some of the wet areas. Those hemlock boards have started to deteriorate to the point where they're really not useful. So we went out this fall and determined there were 6 areas out there that could benefit from walkways. 2 of those areas was to replace the hemlock boards that are out there, because again, they really provide no benefit for the hiker. And then 4 other areas that would benefit from putting in the docks. In the package, you can see that the price to do those 6 areas was $73,920. That's up substantially. We had some docks put in about 6 years ago, and prices have gone up pretty substantially, as anybody that's done anything with metal, whether it be steel or aluminum, know that prices have come up. So that's the bad news. The good news is we're looking at doing a grant that would pay for a substantial portion of this project. I think all of you are aware of the Trails bond issue that was on the November ballot that passed by an overwhelming majority of the state voters. That was a $30 million bond that will provide funding for motorized, non-motorized, and multi-use trails in the state of Maine to improve and enhance those trails. We're fortunate enough that Scott over there has agreed to write the grant for us. That grant, they're in the process right now of writing all the eligibility and stuff, but Scott has been to an informational meeting. And I think you said maybe late February, the application process would open?
They said after the new year, so I'm not sure, but I'll keep an eye on it every week.
All right.
I go on.
So he will write that grant up, and we are hopeful that we'll be one of the recipients for that first round of funding, which likely will be, summer or early fall, hopefully. We recognize that it likely will not cover the full amount. The Poland Conservation Commission, we have sufficient funds to cover anything in addition to what we would need to put in, that we're willing to do. So this would come at no cost to the taxpayers of Poland.
Two questions. First, do you have any idea what the maximum amount is you can apply for under the grant?
So none of the criteria's come out yet. I just happened to be at a MRPA workshop where the folks that are gonna be managing those funds was doing a session. So we were able to, some of the MRPA professionals were able to ask questions. There's a news article that was out saying that they plan on setting up the application and having it available after the new year, so that's not far from now. They've gotta spend $30 million and that has to be spent within 10 years. So as soon as they'll come out with all the rules around it. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be very similar to the RTP grant that's been around for a long time. The difference with this $30 million bond is that it's a 90-10 match versus the RTP grant is an 80-20 match. So basically that whatever you ask, if they approve it under such and such criteria, you have to do it by such and such date, that kind of stuff. Then they would cover 90% of what you applied for if they've approved it. And then we can match that. It doesn't have to be 10% in money. It can be in labor, it can be in donation of materials, other things. So that's what they're looking for, is to have some teeth in the game. So, yeah.
That was my second question, if it's a
Yeah.
matching grant.
Yeah. So.
So at this time, we really don't know.
If we're not successful at all, likely we will, Conservation Commission will move forward to doing the two, location B and location F, to replace the hemlock boards that are out there now.
Yeah.
And then we'll just have to look at down the road of doing some other things.
And what should those two for?
That was location B, the biggest one, which is 35.
Oh, I see,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and location F.
What's the, so I know parent lumber, I use hemlock a lot. So what is the lifespan or you really don't know, right? Especially around the water areas. I mean, hemlock's pretty resistant, but I'm just curious to see if there was other avenues to go for longevity. I know hemlock's cheaper and it resists a lot, but maybe, we don't wanna go pressure treated because that hurts the environment, but. So is there any other solution other than hemlock?
Not from a wood standpoint,
No.
because we've got, even the hemlock is not good, it's on the ground.
Right,
With
right.
boards under it. The docks are able to pull us up off the ground, so
Right.
it doesn't impact vegetation
Right.
at all.
Can we incorporate, and again, I know aluminum and steel, unless you have a stainless steel, which would be expensive. Can you incorporate the wood with the aluminum to to raise the hemlock up? Is that something you thought about doing? When
Well,
you're making the walkway, so you're gonna have steel on the bottom or aluminum on the bottom and the wood up top? I'm just looking at the long term, that's all.
Actually, we have a product on top, which is a perforated vinyl,
Mhm.
and everything runs through it. So that adds major life to the decking of these walkways. If you've been on the bridge,
I have,
okay.
yeah,
If
okay,
you
yeah.
ever walk underneath there and look back up, you can see it's a 60% light, is what they call it, with the way the holes come in.
Okay, gotcha.
So that preserves the walkway in the future.
Just a suggestion maybe, I don't know, it might not be cost effective, maybe for long term, maybe, composite?
This is a composite.
Yeah, I know that, that
Oh,
is composite, okay, I'm talking about the other, okay, yeah,
Yeah, so everything they're
Decking's
presenting
composite.
here
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is that composite decking that we actually
Oh, okay, yeah,
purchased.
cause you mentioned the hemlock, that's why I
Yeah,
asked, yeah.
no, this is a composite
Yeah.
decking on the top.
So it's replacing
Aluminum
the
frame.
hemlock
Yeah.
is really what
With
they're
the-
doing.
okay,
In the
I
case of
gotcha.
those two
Yep.
cases, and then there's new areas that are not
Yeah,
yet walkways that they would do as the new, would be new walkways
Okay.
for those links that are given, which are much shorter than the other ones.
okay, thanks for the
How it is.
clarification, yeah.
The walkways we put in 4 years ago.
6.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
Barry's only age 4.
Yeah, that's why, right there. You better take care of that. the walkway lifespan of those was 40-plus years.
Yeah.
And that was a reasonable. And we did a lot of work, and we actually were trying to build the bridge at Waterhouse Park using wood. And then we learned that it was quite futile. Steel beams, big hemlock, after you spent a hell of a lot more money than we did for the bridge that was there, its lifespan was half
Yeah.
of what we ended up putting there.
Yeah.
So we're looking, and today's products are better. We're putting them in, we're not galvanizing everything.
Yeah, the ones that were in before weren't galvanized, they were powder coated,
Powder coat, yeah.
which added like another $20,000, and so
Yeah.
we've eliminated that, because we're
Yeah.
trying to get the price back down, so they're just strict aluminum, which they look fine, and then again, that composite decking on the top.
And we'll still get the lifespan out of it.
I will say I appreciate these on, I do the Bragton Hill a lot, walk through all that, cause I live on North Raymond Road, so, and I bring my dogs on and stuff, and I absolutely love what's there to keep your feet dry, cause it is a very wet in areas you go
Yes.
down and it's wet and it's muddy and so you get back up a little bit and then it'll go back down, so
Yep.
it's very useful and there's always people there, so it gets used a lot.
And they're nice and wide, they're 4 feet wide.
Yeah,
Each
yeah.
section is 4 by 10, so they're nice wide, get you up off the dirt, off the water and the mud. And,
Yeah, wood's just not, you have to replace my deck soon, so.
especially when it sets in the water part of the
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
it just,
Awesome, thank you.
So in terms of timing and budget, assuming that you get the grant and have to be responsible for 10%, do we
we have
need
those
to-
funds already.
You have those funds
So we
already?
would not be coming back for those funds. Whatever the amount we would have to put in, we will be willing to do.
Depending on what the amount is, it would go back through the board.
Right,
As
for
final
approval.
approval, once they've approved it,
Yep.
but that would be,
Okay.
there'd be
But
no
no new funds.
additional new funds that would be required that we have to worry from a budgetary standpoint at this point in time.
Yeah, so this is
Sorry,
really
sorry, I didn't
This
recognize
is,
you at
this is very
first.
much informational.
informational and
Yeah.
wanting the support of the town. At some
Until you start
point, I
talking,
assume
you got it.
you'll have to vote on the grant going in, and so we just
Yeah.
wanna make sure you're aware of it. And-
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much for the
appreciate it.
information.
Thanks for
Great
your
job.
work.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, thank you.
I still think I was right. Good night, and thank you.
Thank you.
He's good.
So then we have another person here. Rob?
He's from Europe? Europe.
Save the best for last.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. I think we have a couple items. One is our budget for FY '26. I think our committee has been a little remiss in presenting this to your board, so we're gonna rectify that starting tonight. The categories you see here really haven't changed much since maybe you saw them 2 or 3 years ago. I think we cleaned them up, tightened them up a little bit. Most of them are self-explanatory, but I will just highlight a couple of them to ferret out what each of them means. So like professional services, really that's an earmark for folks to help us with grant applications primarily, more than anything else. Printing and postage, I think we talked about this on our little working group. One of the things we want to do is print either print or digital print business guide, for a new business guide for Poland, so that's kind of what we have earmarked there. Website design is kind of self-explanatory. Advertising, I actually had an opportunity to meet with the LA Chamber of Commerce today, and they do some great stuff, and we've worked with them in the past. So we'll probably be sending some of that line item to them to help them promote our town. GIS web support, that's a hardwired amount, but they do great work. You've all, I'm sure, used their services on our town page. Public beautification, one of the things that came up during my discussion with LA Chamber of Commerce today was reaching out to an organization called Main Street Maine. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but their real focus is on finding money, grants, etc. for small town Maine to focus on beautification of main streets. And that's something that's important to our committee, something that we've kind of poked at and not really made much strides towards. So we'll be really reaching out to that organization. In fact, I already have. So that's what that money's kind of earmarked towards. Lake associations, that's also hardwired, and that's good. We've got those lakes, Tripp, Rang, and Thompson that we support. And then finally, and I think probably most notably for what CEDC does, is to sponsor these special events. Just had an awesome one, as you heard. I'm sure most of you got to go to it. Christmas in Poland, really cool opportunity for the community to come together. But also it does attract folks from outside. I brought, my parents and their friends from out of town, and they spent some money in the food trucks and just really had a great time. And I think it makes Poland look awesome. And we've got Winterfest that we're going to be considering at our next meeting as well. That's the budget in a nutshell. I'm happy to answer any questions about any of the line items or talk about any of it that you all may have.
Questions?
I think it's pretty straightforward.
That's what I was going for.
Appreciate all the work that you folks do. So
we're pretty excited. I feel like we're hitting a good groove right now. The hangout that we had, several months ago, again in January coming up. I hope you all can make it. That's really been reinvigorating for our committee, so we're excited about it.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Get an email mailing to us to remind us of.
Yes,
that time.
absolutely. I was just telling Becky I've got to do that. I will do that. Yeah.
Or we'll be texting each other.
Yes. I will get you all soon.
That's great. Any questions for
Yeah.
Rob?
Okay.
I look forward to the next meeting, actually.
Appreciate you coming
Thank you.
out.
Yeah, my
Thanks.
pleasure. I think we have one other item, right? Yep. So this here is approval for an expense. This was for none such. Some of you were able to meet, to make it to the business-to-business event we had in October, is also to recognize Cindy and Norm for their many years of service to Poland and various committees. And I think they did a really nice job at None Such. I think it was a pretty good event. We're always looking for feedback, however, to improve it. The goal of the B2B is really to promote these businesses. So I know I learned some stuff, some small businesses that we didn't have before. I got to, make relationships with Wade, the barbecue guy, and Nick, the bagel guy. And so that was really cool. A good opportunity, but we're certainly always open to other ideas. It's a lot of money. It's $2,000. So that is a big chunk of money, and we want to make sure that we're using our dollars efficiently and effectively. So we do plan to host another one of these. Right now, it's tentatively scheduled for Wolf Cove Inn in the spring. We haven't been there yet. They new owners for a little over a year now, so we're remiss about hitting them up. But that's we're excited about trying to get that done before they get busy.
So I think we'd have a total, so if I'm reading this correctly, we've got $19.98 to things, plus reimburse yourself, Rob, for.
Yeah, so I covered both of these. The $280 was part of the same charge, so I had to give a deposit first, and then the $19.98 was the.
So the 280's in within the 1998?
It's on top of the $19.98.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So it's 2278.22?
Right,
My
correct.
math is correct?
Yeah. Which, to be full disclosure, it was over budget. We budgeted $2,000 and just didn't make it, quite frankly. But that's our goal. And like I said, it's a lot of money, and we're scrutinizing how to make it more efficient and effective. We had a lot of leftover food, for one. Tough to get a solid number on people. We had 30 responses. Last time we had 30 responses, 50 people showed up. So we were perhaps a little bit too, erring on the side of more people, and so we ordered too much food, frankly.
Yeah, I wish I could have made that.
Yeah.
I was disappointed I couldn't.
So I'd entertain a motion for the 2278.22.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
And is that payable to Rob, or is that payable
It'll be paid to Rob.
directly?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if that'd be part of it.
Thanks for fronting that.
No,
That's
no
kind of
problem.
a
Yep.
big expense.
I didn't actually expect them to want it, but they did, and it was crunch time, so there wasn't a lot of options there, but my pleasure, it was fine.
John DeSantis.
Yes.
Stan Tetman.
Yes.
Steve Robinson.
Yes.
Mary Ann Hawk.
Yes.
Lisa Elby.
Yes.
With a vote 5-0, you have approved the invoice payable to Rob Dwyer for the business to business in the amount of $2,278.22.
Thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Have a happy
Appreciate it.
holiday and we'll see you in January.
You as well.
Take care.
You can go home with good news now.
Yes, we're rich. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Yeah, I'm gonna use you that app. Thanks.
All right, let's go back to the top, manager.
Do you want to do Scott?
Oh, Scott, I'm sorry, Scott.
I can just hang.
It's the Santa thing, it's the Santa thing.
Yeah.
Hi. So, I don't know who's watching from out in TV land, but I'm Scott Siegel and I'm the recreation director for the town. Been here 21 years. Seems like yesterday.
You're legal now.
What's that?
You're legal now.
I'm officially legal, yes. So I was gonna share a few things. And one, John, you asked a question about metal and wood.
Yeah,
I had the opportunity about a month ago to meet with one of the teachers at Poland Regional High School, and behind the high school, there's town land. And so they've been working with the Conservation Commission and our trail committee to, they've always had kind of some space back there where they do some educational stuff, but it's wet.
yeah.
And so the teacher has been very proactive in trying to figure out a good solution, and that's actually what they did was they have created a pipe decking, it's like pipe frame, and then they're using wood. We don't know if that will last longer than what we've been doing in some of our areas, but it seems like a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to 7, 8, 9, 10 years from now to see how those are holding
Yeah,
out, and maybe
yeah.
that's a better solution for areas that we're not gonna necessarily spend a lot of money on, putting in a higher price decking that will
Right.
last longer, but if this stuff lasts 20, 25 years, it might be worth exploring.
That's awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and then the grant that I will help apply for, I'm also gonna include, the school group, because it's on town property. I think we'll have a better chance, like anything that we're gonna try to do within the town, we should try to do all together.
Yeah.
And that, because that has an educational component, that trail that they have behind there actually can link to the Heart of Poland Trail. You still have to cross the road on Trip Lake Road, but
Yeah.
it's still, there's an opportunity there, so. I run the recreation department, Parks and Rec. I am really just happy with the progress that things have been happening with what we're doing in town. Part of that is we've got more people stepping up to do stuff. When we have a world where some people are shying away from volunteering, we've got folks that are like, hey, I want to do something in our community, I want it to be special, I want to share, and they need a kind of a venue to be able to do that, or a vehicle to do that. So it kind of started with Christmas in Poland a couple of years ago, where I'm helping support them by managing the budget, making sure that all the money's utilized in transparency, and where Winter Festival, I'm part of a committee that manages that activity. It's a much smaller event than the Christmas in Poland, but still very well attended. And that event, again, is I'm managing the funds. So we have our finance department that's getting the check requests or for whatever things we're spending our money on. And then I also track it on my side and make sure that they match. It's a lot easier. And then we have Six at the Springs, which is a newer event, and we were able to do the same thing. I think they all tie into community, they all tie into economic development as well, kind of all the stuff that was talked about tonight. We're bringing in people from the outside, and that has potential to support other things, either initially because they come and spend money in the community, or down the road when someone says, hey, I like what the amenities are in Poland, maybe I want to establish something here. So I think it all kind of, it's exciting. The length of time I've been here, I think that's pretty exciting to see these things flourishing.
Yeah.
One of the things that I offered to come here for Christmas in Poland is when you're managing budgets and you're trying to figure out who's gonna help with what, We get volunteers for certain things. And in past years, we've donated money for folks that like have helped with parking. It's a high school group. Instead of giving money to the high school kids, we would give it to an organization that we're part of. So whether it's a sports team, a project graduation, different things. This year, we, Officer, I don't know, Wesley, is that, I almost feel like I'm gonna say that wrong, and also known as Bernie, was able to find some high school students that are in the Andrew Scoggin, Dennis Sampson
Yeah, RTC.
Explorers program, yeah. And they came and helped us with our parking for the event,
They
which
did
is,
a great job.
yeah, I mean,
And they were so
phenomenal.
nice,
Yeah.
and
They
I
do it.
love the candy canes
yeah.
they were using.
We had a lot of traffic at our event, it's on a busy road, and we've always tried to have parking attendants, and having their group was tremendous this year. Some of them stayed a lot longer than they planned, and one way we wanted to give back was, we thought it was gonna be a high school group from PRHS, and it wasn't. So we wanted to donate money to the Explorer program to help them with the things that they're doing. So that's why I'm here.
So the reason why this is coming before you guys is because we recently changed the governance policy. And anything that is, because CEDC, who gave $2,500 to help Christmas in Poland, is raised and appropriated money. If Christmas in Poland now wants to donate money, they have to come back to see you guys because it could be part of that raised and appropriated money from people paying taxes. So normal things, his normal activities, football and stuff, if he does donations, he doesn't have to come to us because those are programs that are paid for on their own. And it's not raised and appropriated money, but because CEDC donated money to them using raised and appropriated taxes, that's why he has to come forward to ask for the donation to be approved.
Can I just clarify one thing?
Yep.
So I believe it was like 4,900 for Christmas in Poland.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I mean, going forward, and we've been doing this, so any of those groups, somebody's putting a request to CEDC, we're spelling out specifically what we're asking the money for. So it's not a general, it's like helping with, it could be marketing, it could be, in this case for Christmas in Poland, it was hiring the sheriff's department to be here for managing traffic, so dealing with safety. Helping with the lighting of some of the things that are higher up, and hiring a company to be up on a lift and put lights up on the taller stuff. Some sheriff lights, there's some marketing, etc. So we did a mailing this year. And so it's all spelled out. And the organization or committee is gonna have some money left over, and that's why we're like looking at trying to contribute something to folks that helped with the event. I anticipate that we're still managing the budget from the event, waiting for some more reimbursements and stuff, but I'm anticipating, and some sponsors that haven't paid yet, anticipating that we'll probably have a balance left over about $6,000, $7,000 in that. And that will continue with Christmas in Poland for going into next year and give them a good start. And so, you know, whether they ask for less sponsor money or maybe we ask for less CEDC money, however they decide to approach that. So,
Thank you.
sure.
So I'll entertain a motion for a donation to the Androscoggin County Explorer Program.
I second that.
Somebody else has to make it.
I'll
I
make
can't,
it.
I know I said the
Yeah,
word,
that's right.
somebody's gonna say that they're making it. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just say it's so moved.
So moved.
I second.
John DeSantis.
Yes.
Stan Tatman.
Yes.
Steve Robinson.
Yes.
Mary Ann Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Albee. With a vote of 5-0, you have approved the donation to the Androscoggin County Sampson Explorer in the amount of $500 from the Christmas in Poland.
And I'll make sure I write neater next time now that I know.
It's okay.
So we've got-
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for all that you do.
I know.
I absolutely agree. Everybody talks about it. I've had other people that we brought or that came and ended up coming, and then I know other people that actually came back to do the tour of the Christmas lights
Yeah.
that live in other communities that went around to the things because it was out there online and here's the ways you can do and this is how you vote and
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
That in itself was a great event, but thank you for all that you do and all the things and the support of the conservation, the trails.
Here's to 21 more years.
And then I'll be like 50-something. I just wanted, so I think you met Christina at a prior meeting, Christina Wilson. I think she had come to just share like stuff coming up for the Christmas in Poland event.
Yeah.
And I believe their committee is about 20 people. Like it's one of the bigger committees we have in town, and they work hard. They work all
Oh,
year.
it was just amazing to come and all the fire pits and
Yeah.
and the benches and doing and music and just everything about it.
Yeah, that was good, so, thank you.
And the Christmas tree things, we were not aware of it from a board perspective, but I think in the future, a little more notice that, there may be more people that contribute to that. I think there was, when I went through, I think I counted 19 or 20 trees.
Yeah, I think there were supposed to be 23, and then it ended like 21 or something like that, yeah. So,
All right. Thank you, Scott.
yeah, nice to see you. All right,
Nice to
thanks.
see you, Scott.
Good evening. All right, Matt, back to the manager's report.
Manager report for 17 December, the library expansion site walkthrough and pre-bid meeting. We had 11 contractors plus several subcontractors. We changed the bid date to January 13th at 1 p.m. to allow contractors more time to prepare bids. They requested that, and that's a good thing because it means that we'll get more bids. Attending the county commissioners meeting tomorrow night at 5:15. I'll be requesting the remaining county ARPA funds be obligated to the library expansion. We'll see how that goes. Maine Waste to Energy, we approved additional expenditures to cover costs of recent maintenance and repair, and also improved a price increase to make up for this revenue shortfall. Poland's not impacted. It's contractors and towns that are on a contract basis. The MMA Executive Committee, we reviewed the asset strategy for various term investments, budget allocations for departments and activities, and member engagement efforts. And pending questions, that's the manager report.
Any questions for Matt? Thank you, Matt. Move on to financials.
We're 48.08% through the year. On revenue, we're doing fine there, just a little bit above glide slope on motor vehicle excise, which is a good thing there. On the expense report, we're on track with basically every area. Some areas that are a little high are due to timing of expenditures. Law enforcement is a good example. It's 72.93. That's just because we paid enough of the annual contract payment. But we're on track, and pending any questions, that's a finance report.
I'll entertain a motion.
Move we accept the finance reports as presented.
Second?
Questions or comments? I got one just to highlight it. It's in the packet for people to be able to read, but I just wanted to highlight when we look at our solar power savings. The Nexamp solar farm is $4,964.17 for the project to date. And the solar array on the Public Works Department is $37,671.24. So it's nice to see those growing, and hopefully we'll see how that all pans out. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we can vote.
The other thing I point out in the department reports is for the town clerk, the dog registration software is changed, and so you can read in there how they have adjusted the way they process these dog license renewals to make it easier for residents, so that they don't have to stay there while they wade through that new computer program. They just take the information and they do it when they have a slow period. So that's a really kind thing of them to do, and not so kind on the state for not giving us a program that's more efficient.
Can we vote? We need to vote on
finance report.
finance report.
Oh, I thought you did that. No?
No, we did a
No.
motion and a
Moved and
second, but we
seconded.
didn't vote.
John DeSantis.
Yes.
Stan Tetman.
Yes.
Steve Robinson.
Yes.
Marianne Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Alby.
Yes.
With a vote 5-0, you have approved the financial reports as presented.
Yeah, certainly, as you noted, Matt, that was one of the things that Judy highlighted, and obviously, the other thing was November, being the report of November. November was very busy for
Mhm.
voting, and we had 87% of our voters
Yeah,
Yeah.
attend.
huge
which was-
percentage.
Is that a record?
No.
No?
No, but we did have over 500 new voter registrations that day. New ones to the town.
Wow, that's impressive.
My daughter and I kept up with it though.
And I just gotta say, having been here for the day with the voting, it went really well. Everybody did a tremendous job. It was, people were outside hitting people up. Oh, you need to vote, okay, you need to go over there, I think there was always somebody manning the different stations that they had coordinated and organized and.
Helps when you have friendly parking attendants.
The only thing I'm gonna say is that we are going to need to discuss how we want to handle parking in the future for such things, especially when the park actually gets created and we no longer have that space behind the library to park in. We are gonna be in a world of hurt from a parking perspective, which maybe we can do across, maybe, I don't know, but it's just something that I think will have to be talked about, certainly not tonight, but I just wanna highlight that because there was that entertained a lot of parking over there that when that park is developed, it won't be available to us for parking. We're certainly gonna expand some behind the library there and some a little bit around, but it's not gonna be enough for events, voting events like that, and the volume of people what we had worked pretty well and everybody was great, so.
I didn't happen to notice in the report from Judy, do you know what percentage of people did absentee versus voting in person?
It was about a third.
Good.
Yep.
So just imagine if we didn't have absentee, we would have been.
Silly question. So I don't know if this was just the way that it happened, but so I went and my line, I was an H, went through really quickly. The other line was backed up quite a bit.
So lines have to be separated by the number of voters that are registered. And there is a 3-count voter difference between A to K and L to Z. Unfortunately, we can't control how many of those voters show up or how many of those voters vote absentee before the elections.
Gotcha.
So we have to split it that way. And sometimes we just end up with one line that's really long and one line that's really short. I don't know whether it's the smarter people or not.
And then you got 500 absent new registrations
Right.
that we don't know where they're gonna fall, I
Right,
guess.
Right.
Cause I was asking some of the same question, because
Yeah.
people would come back to where I was, and, I hadn't seen them for an hour. Or
Right.
whatever the case may be, and other people are just in and out and flying, and it's like, oh, the line is still out and,
Yeah.
and across, and it's like, oh, okay.
Well, I'd seen Linda, and she said that at one point, the A to whatever it was, that had
It
a
went down
long
and around.
line,
Yeah.
and the other one went right through, and when I went over, the end of the alphabet had the long line, and the others had like 5 people in line. So just
Random.
how you hit
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I peeped as I went by and waved. I didn't have to deal with those lines.
So the only question I have is, can you ever go and break it up into thirds?
We can, we've done it before over there where we used to use the downstairs, but the problem is having only 2 entrance doors, then we would have to squeeze 2 lines into one entryway. And it's not gonna make it go any faster, because if the booths are all filled in there, we can't let anybody else in anyways. So,
I think that was an anomaly. I don't think it's gonna really be that way. moving
no,
forward.
usually we get about 1,000
Yeah,
voters.
yeah.
So
I think
800
that's
to 1,000 at
It's one of
normal
those
elections.
anomalies. I don't think it'd probably be.
Anything else on department reports?
Nothing that I wanted to highlight.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Guess we can, if there's nothing else on department reports, then I guess we get to go all the way down to the RSU 16 Budget Committee discussion.
They're looking for a representative for the Budget Committee, and you can see the dates there that they've got at the bottom. The January 8th one is just a kickoff one, but the ones in March and in April, those are Wednesdays, to help people understand that. And typically, we brought this up at the budget workshop to see if anyone from the Budget Committee wants to go, and sometimes they do, but I wanted to do it here to see if anyone from the board wanted to sign up for it, and if not, we can bring it to the Budget Committee, but we kind of want to get this assigned now if we can, because it starts before our budget workshop starts, and would just make it probably a bit cumbersome for someone from the Budget Committee to be part of that.
Did it last year. Are you interested?
No, thank you. Just because I've got quite a few other school things that but is it something that you wanted to do again this year, or?
Not particularly,
Okay.
And I have broadband committee on
That's right,
Wednesday
too.
nights.
Yep, that's right
So
too.
it would be difficult.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm Andrew Scoggin, Budget Committee, plus, yeah, it's,
I'm on the cost formula sharing committee that
Yep.
kicks off monthly, starting in January.
Yep.
They announced out the dates for that.
Yeah, they just did, and
And that was,
kind of the same
I've got it on my
time.
calendar at home, I don't have a copy of it here
Yeah.
to know
Yeah.
exactly
It's in
the,
an email.
and if there's any particular conflicts. I'm not really sure. My guess is probably not. There wouldn't be conflicts because
The same people have to go to both.
So, but it just means it's
Yeah, that's,
much more on top of our activities.
yeah, well, if you did that, you'd have budget workshop, select board, cost sharing, and then this. That might be a bit tough to meet all those scheduled dates. We can wait till the next board meeting, but we're kind of up against that first organizational meeting. I think if you missed that, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I'm sure someone from the school could brief whoever signs up for it.
Yeah, just looking at a schedule and the way the broadband committee meets, well, I would miss half of the meetings.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'll volunteer for it. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Lisa.
take one for the
Is it
team.
Lisa
Maybe
Sincere?
another, but the volunteer,
Lisa,
yeah.
is that her name? From Minot?
It does.
Yeah.
Just, is it Chesapeake?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks,
so
I'll
do
let folks
you-
know tomorrow.
Okay, you'll provide them and make the contact? Thank you, Lisa.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great, let's do payables.
I make a motion that we pay our bills for the year, fiscal year 2025, the amount of $1,252,636.64.
I second.
Thank you.
John DeSantis.
Yes.
Stan Tetman.
Yes.
Steve Robinson.
Yes.
Marianne Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Elby.
Yes.
With a vote 5-0, you have approved the payables in the amount of $1,252,636.64.
Ron, any other business?
I'll make a statement. I've been showing up to the public, well, the first one they had the other day with the school board. And I am pleasantly surprised at how things are moving along. And I suggest that those that were second guessing or negative, show up. There's new words we're gonna start using, they're gonna start using, it's called accountability and honesty. We try to get rid of that transparency word. And I think with Amy at the helm and John Hawley and some of the other group, the language is changing now, and it seems like there was a lot of people from the public there, they were asking some tough questions. The board answered them. I'm pleasantly surprised, and I think Amy has a lot to do with that, so, but the public needs to show up and ask any question that they need to ask. And it sounds like, and it looks like from my perspective, because they answered a lot of my questions, that they're willing to bridge that gap between the public and the school so we can figure this out. So I'm pleasantly surprised from where we were to where we are now, so. Other than that, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I've got one thing. The state of Maine does not have a Maine State Dog. And Cindy Robbins has kind of made it a mission to get a Maine State Dog, and it would be the Seppler Siberian Sled Dog. And the reason for that is Togo. And I don't know how many people that might be listening in haven't heard of Togo, but Togo was a sled dog that 100 years, 2025 is the 100th anniversary of a diphtheria outbreak in Nome, Alaska. And the only way they can get the vaccine to Nome at that time was by sled dog. And Togo was a dog that led a team for 261 and 265 miles. It was the longest leg of the trip. And there's another dog, Balto, who went the last 30 miles or something. He became famous, and they got this big statue in Central Park in New York of Balto. But a couple of years ago, Cindy started the project because of somebody, a lady in Kansas, I think had called her, to start raising money for a statue of Togo here, and it's next to the Maine State Building. And so because of the 100th anniversary, Togo, when he got done with that run, I forget, I think it's Leonard, I think was his name, Seppler, was the musher, and he came here, he met, I forget which Ricker it is, from Poland Spring Inn, and retired Togo here. And they started a kennel where the Siberian sled dogs from Togo became a special breed. And so there's a lot of tie-in to the state of Maine, and Togo stayed here until the last, I think about 2 or 3 months before he passed away. He was then taken down to Connecticut. So Cindy has asked Dave Boyer to put in a bill for this, and there was a couple of big articles in the Sunday paper, not this past Sunday, I think it was the Sunday before, and I had sent out to the board a draft of a flyer that Cindy put together about this, and she's trying to drum up support for it. And I was wondering if you folks as a board would be willing to vote to send a letter, I'm not sure exactly where at this point, to support naming the Siberian, the Seppler Siberian sled dog as the Maine State Dog. So if you're willing to do that, I don't know if Matt could, Nikki could draft something, or I can try to get something together. I can get something out to us. But if we go along to do that, I would appreciate it. Cindy would appreciate it.
I'll make a motion to approve that the board write a letter to support this initiative.
Here a second.
Second.
John DeSantis.
Yes.
Stan Tatman.
Yes.
Steve Robinson.
Yes.
Mary Ann Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Elby.
Yes.
With a vote 5-0, you have agreed to write a letter of support for the dog, the state dog of Maine, to be the,
I'll get you the exact spelling. I think it's Seppler, S-E-P-P-U-L-A, Siberian sled dog. I'll have to look up the exact spelling.
all right.
Thank you.
Another Chihuahua. On that note,
That's you.
Anything else, Dan?
No.
The only thing I was gonna bring up is that, through Matt and contacts or whatever, I've been asked to go tomorrow to award the Boston cane for the town of Poland to an individual. So I will be going to that at 12:30 tomorrow. And I did sign a certificate yesterday that will go with that and whatever. So I'll be attending with Judy and some of the Historical Society and stuff, so I'll be meeting them there. So just wanted to bring you all up on that. It's good that that's coming back in the frame.
That's great.
I don't know yet how old he is. I know I'll find out tomorrow, but
Now, is that for our oldest resident? Is that what that is?
It is, correct.
Okay.
At one time, I think Leo Ferland had it for a couple of years, Leo senior. I don't know, Leo.
Yes.
That was terrific.
How can one acquire a Seppula Siberian Husky?
I'm sorry?
How can one acquire a Seppula Siberian Husky?
Speak to Cindy.
I was to say, Cindy would be able to tell you.
You probably need a grant to get one.
Cindy has one,
She does.
one of the
Jessica
dogs,
Really?
I forget the dog's name now, was one of the, was one of his children, from his line, and they did a run last year or 2 years ago. There was a gentleman who did a 260-mile run in the state of Maine, and as, you know, just something to honor that. And this dog was part of that team, was on the team for a while, but he's blind. When they got done with the run, Cindy asked him, "What are you doing with," I can't think of his name, and the guy wasn't sure. She said, "I want to take him home." So she has him now.
Yeah.
Beautiful dog, beautiful blue eyes, bright blue eyes.
I had a Siberian Husky when I was a teenager. Her name was Kanani,
Yeah.
and she was my
Nice
little
Kanani.
buddy.
They're Great dogs.
Wonderful, beautiful. I don't have anything. I'm just curious about that.
Lisa,
I do not.
Matt,
Just a reminder that the customer service counter is gonna be closed on the 26th, day after Christmas. The rest of the office will be open. And the board got an email about Rang Pond and some grants they were pursuing. And if it's okay, I'll just contact the person. It's a public works question, and we'll work with them to answer their questions and concerns.
yeah, I didn't know if that was gonna drive us to have curbing along the roadway there or something.
It's all pretty
or whatever.
straightforward stuff, and almost everything that they have identified has been corrected by Public Works as part of their normal work routine. And so we'll talk to them soon. And that's all I have.
Great. Nikki?
Nothing.
Okay, so with that, I guess I'd just like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, and all of that, and we certainly thank you for all your support this year, and look forward to the next year coming. So with
Stay
that-
safe, everybody.
Yeah, so with that, we can do a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
John DeSantis.
Yes.
Stan Tatman.
Yes.
Steve Robinson.
Yes.
Marion Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Elby.
Yes.
With a vote 5-0, you have adjourned the meeting. Have a good night, everyone.